a sense of community when you're free. Rolling through the mountains, rolling through the valley, rolling through paradise with me.
Hello everyone, welcome to Small Talk. Well, I'm very pleased to welcome to my Zoom room today's guest, Jack Hendsbee, right? Hendsbee?
Yes. Hi, Nancy.
Hi, nice to have you here, by the way.
Nice to be here.
Now, you're an artist, correct?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of art do you do?
Mainly oil paintings. I started with chalk drawings at Waddington's. You know that outdoor store down in Sardis?
Yes.
So I started doing chalk drawings there, and then I just worked my way into doing proper commissions and whatnot, in oil paintings mostly.
Now, a lot of people don't like to use oil because of the length of time it takes to dry.
Right. And that's kind of why I like it, is that there's not a whole lot of restrictions in terms of getting something done in more than an hour, whereas acrylic dries so fast, you better get it done quickly or be ready to put on the next layer and stuff, whereas oil will stay wet and kind of malleable, and you can keep working with it for a long time, which is why I really like it.
You can do lots of fun textures with it.
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
So when did you start painting or drawing, or
I've pretty much drawn forever, but I've been painting for a solid 7 years now.
Are you self-taught?
Yes.
Okay.
I went to Julianne's, that art class, for once or twice.
Right.
But that's about it.
It's like my sister and I went to it was paint nights a few times, and then it's like, it was fine, except that we found the pace a little slow.
Yeah.
Right? Only because she's the teacher dealing with a whole group of people that can be different attention.
Yeah, you're on Bob Ross's speed a little bit.
Exactly, and it's not, it's not my thing. Would you have an issue with something like that? Do you like to work at your own speed, or?
Well, Bob Ross is really fast. I don't know if I could follow his speed, but yeah, definitely the paint night classes are catered to a basic kind of a level of understanding, which is
yes, and it's supposed to be a fun.
Totally, yeah. You have wine there and stuff.
Exactly.
Have a bit of a party.
Exactly. So now you mentioned you do commission paintings.
As much as I can. It's commissions are not too easy to come by right now, but yeah, I'm always kind of open for it.
Well, that's really good. Like, have you ever been featured in one of the galleries, like say, for instance, the gallery here in Chilliwack?
No, not yet, but I'm applying to be in the museum show here soon. It's some sort of secret art show that they're going to do where they're not saying who the artists are. It's just kind of some sort of workaround, so they don't have to get some sort of tax thing. I'm not sure. I think it's just easier for them to do it that way.
Right.
But yeah.
Well, another thing is, I'm wondering, like, do you frame your work, or do you allow that for the let's just say you sell something, you sell it on frame?
Usually not. Sometimes I'll put it in a frame if I have something, but frames are pretty expensive too.
Yeah.
So usually that's something I leave for the person that buys.
Right.
So.
That's good to know. My understanding, and I could be wrong about this, at the gallery they have to be framed, but I don't think that's.
I think some galleries will want them framed, and then some, I think they just want some art in there, so they'll just take whatever.
Okay. So now, do you have a particular style, or do you?
I've kind of worked around through some different styles. Like I went through a bit of a flowy, kind of a psychedelic phase, and I still kind of do that a little bit, but I'm working away from it now.
Do you do portraits?
Yes.
Oh, that's very good.
Mm-hmm.
They're not easy, right?
No, those are the hardest thing for me ever. Yeah.
I've been watching the show. I think it's called Drop Your Drawers.
Yeah.
Where they do nude. They have a nude poser.
Yeah.
Do you ever do anything like that, or would you?
I haven't done that before. No.
That would be weird.
I know. I think it would be a little bit weird.
This is a British show, so that means they get away with all kinds of things.
Right, they're pretty loose.
Yeah, for sure. Another thing I'm wondering, like, nowadays we can look on YouTube and we can look up anything we need to, if we want to find out. Do you ever look on there for, say, ideas for anything?
Yeah, YouTube has a bunch of other artists that I learned from that just kind of talk to other people and have interviews and stuff, and you just get to hear from real artists that kind of know what it's all about, and instead of hearing it from my parents or my friends or something where they know what they're talking about, but they don't actually know what the painting kind of what that's all about and how the energy that it takes and all that stuff. But so it's nice to hear from real artists.
For sure.
You know, okay, maybe I'm not crazy for being in such a rut or crazy for feeling this way or whatever, you know?
Yeah. And what about the size of your paintings? Do you vary?
I usually like small paintings, like
Yeah.
probably like,
Okay.
yeah, but I'll do bigger ones for
Mhm.
commissions.
Mhm.
But I just like doing small ones.
You like 8x8 or
Yeah, anything pretty much 8x8 and under is great.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Because a lot of people don't like the small canvases.
Yeah, I really like this to
That's cool.
smooth the board. You don't have the texture of the canvas.
Oh, right.
And then you can really kind of go ham with the detail, and that's fun for me.
For sure. So it's a board rather than a canvas.
Mhm.
Oh, I see. Okay, and they're don't have a lot of, what's the word? They're
Yeah.
kind of thin in a way, right?
Yes, they're thin and then they're nice and smooth.
Mhm.
So you don't have to worry about the little the porous
Yeah.
holes in the canvas kind of soaking up the paint.
Yeah. Of course, in the canvas, that's why you put on a base coat and then that's how you're painting,
Yeah.
right?
For me, I end up putting about 5-6 base coats on
Really?
and then sanding in between each one.
Oh, that's
Just because I want it to be really flat.
that is a lot of work.
Uh-huh.
So, well, one of your small paintings, now, what would you say is your average time to complete a work?
It's getting shorter now because I'm a little bit less fixated on certain projects.
Yeah.
Especially realizing kind of what the worth is to people in general, especially Chilliwack. I can't really mark things up for
Yes.
each hour that I spend.
It's
on
really
it.
tough, isn't it?
Exactly. So if I'm spending 100 hours on something and I know that I'm not going to get over $1,000, then
Yeah.
it's hard to justify it. So usually nowadays I'll try and spend under 10 or 15 hours,
It's still a lot of
which
time.
is still a lot of time.
Yeah.
And then
for
even
sure.
still, I'm working my way down, getting a little bit more kind of gestural and less tedious
Mm,
and intricate.
right.
Yeah.
And one of the things too is like mailing them if somebody from out of town, out of town order them. It's really expensive to
Right.
ship them out anywhere.
Yeah, that in those cases, I'll often ask people for the shipping upfront.
Good
If
idea.
that's kind of the way to do it. You
Good
just
idea.
calculate roughly the weight of the package, and then
Right.
it's usually no more than $20 or $30.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Mhm.
So are there any other artists in your family?
Pretty much my whole family has artistic kind of ability. My dad's really good at drawing and painting, and my sister's a tattoo artist,
Oh, cool. Oh,
and my brother's an architect.
right.
We all kind of dabble
Yeah.
in different areas, but yeah, everyone's kind of got their thing.
Very good. Yeah. Do you have any tattoos?
I do. I have a couple. I have a Star Wars tattoo on my arm and a paintbrush on my arm, but that's about it.
I always tease and I say I'm going to get a zipper tattoo as soon as I know when I'm going to die, I'll
Yeah,
have a zipper tattoo, open here, right?
why not?
You never know, right? You might need to do an autopsy and I'm not sure
Yeah,
what
a little barcode on you.
Yeah, right. Oh, barcode. Oh, now that's a clever idea, too,
Yeah.
right? So now here's another thing. Do you do serious work, or is there any humor to any of your work?
Yeah, that's a tough one for me because when I try and be serious about something, I usually end up being frustrated with the heaviness that it has.
Okay.
So often I'll try and do something a little bit more, not goofy, but just that doesn't really mean anything more than what it is,
All right. Okay.
because I think it's easy to get lost in that idea of
It's
things-
frustrating. Yeah.
meaning more than what they are.
Okay. So now here's the thing. Okay, so you've got an idea. You got an idea of something you want to paint.
Mhm.
How often does it not work out, and does it become something totally different than what you planned?
I would say probably every single one. Yeah, there's a point in it. The first couple hours are amazing because you kind of everything is on the table for you, and then slowly as you get down to the last couple of brush strokes, it's more and more stressful because
Right.
you risk kind of undoing what you've done before, and you realize that you're probably not where you wanted to be, but you kind of end up finding a different path
Right.
halfway through a lot of the times, where I will start something trying to get one look, but then end kind of finding something else. Does that
Yeah,
make
for
sense?
sure. Yeah. I think it happens to most people.
Right,
I would think, right?
Mhm.
So another thing, like sometimes when I watch artists, and I'm always amazed, like let's just say they're going to paint a face. So I would expect them to go a certain direction, but they'll do part of the mouth and part of an ear. Like it's not and then they'll go back and forth. Is
Mhm.
that how you work?
Mhm. Yeah,
So
I
what
wish
is
I
it?
had a more kind of structured.
But I haven't seen any artist that's structured. I really
Right.
haven't. So I think that's part of the way the brain works, like, right? You think about this part and then suddenly this goes with this sort of
Right.
idea. Is that
Yeah,
the way it works?
yeah, I think definitely, and that's one of the things that I struggle with too, because I know that I could be faster, and I know that you could be
Right.
more organized with certain things, but at the same time, how much do you want to stress yourself out with that kind of thing when
Yeah.
what I'm doing is already something that's kind of, it's just a craft in a way. It's like a glorified craft where I have the option to either enjoy myself or to struggle with it and wish it was something better than what it is, And
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it's better to just kind of create the way you end up creating,
Right.
and I think that you come up with a better product.
Are you your own worst critic?
I think so. I think that's pretty safe to say. Yeah.
Like, what do you feel like when somebody says to you, "Oh, my God, that's so awesome"?
Yeah.
You might think in your head, like, "Whoa."
It's hard to take compliments when you aren't convinced of something yourself.
Right. So now this is obviously not what you do to make a living.
Well,
Yeah, at the
I
moment.
do it. This is all I do.
Oh, it is.
But
Oh,
like
okay.
I live with my parents, so I get
Oh, okay.
$400 a month, which is not too bad. So I'm able to pay my rent
Uh-huh.
and for my groceries, and that's about it. And
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's really good because most people I know that are painters, they have a day job because they cannot afford to survive on, But most of them are a little older than you, so.
True, yes, and I'm sure I will probably get a day job soon.
So if you were, what kind of day job would you prefer to have?
I think something outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as I'm outside, maybe, or yeah, I think outside would be good. Construction, just get out of my little space
Sure.
into the real world.
Now, in the artistic world, past or present, is there anybody that you really like their work?
Just as other artists and stuff.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, there's lots, especially with social media and stuff. There's like hundreds.
What about the old masters? Anybody?
Oh, the old masters are, like Caravaggio, and honestly, it's hard for me to find one that I'm going, oh yeah, they didn't really serve their purpose. So,
Right.
Yeah.
So what is your ultimate dream with your artwork?
I think you always kind of move that goalpost later, but when I was originally started painting, it was just make some money from my art.
Right.
And that was the first dream. And then I was able to kind of get that. And then as soon as you get that, you're on to your next kind of dream, right?
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, I think right now would be just to be really comfortable financially, which is quite a dream.
Well, yeah, but that's what most people want, whatever job they're taking, right?
Yeah.
So it'd be really nice if you're doing what you love to do.
Mm-hmm.
So surviving that way is the bonus.
Totally. But also I'm appreciative that in a lot of ways I'm in the same boat as everyone.
Yeah. And
I'm not kind of overly validated at this age, because I don't want to really become someone that holds my work so close to me and needs to get a certain amount of money or something. Like I kind of like being in the point where I still realize that my art's just art and it doesn't really serve anything else other than something visually appealing for people and maybe potentially give someone some nice feelings, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's just important to stay away from that ego place of this is what I do is above what other people do, which is a very common thing you see with artists.
So how to stay grounded, right?
Yes,
Make sure you stay grounded. I used to volunteer at the O'Connor Art Gallery, and I used to encourage people, like, wherever if there's your chance ever to see art, not on Facebook or not on YouTube, whatever, go to the art galleries because it's so fantastic to see what somebody did, and sometimes you're lucky enough to meet the artist. Yeah. Right. So that would be nice if you were displaying somewhere so people can meet you and talk to you and find out more about your work, and then they get to share it with their friends and whatever, and that's really a good way to get the word out. And I also understand what you're saying about charging, because I've seen some work and I'm thinking, how on earth did you come up with that value? You know, right? I mean, if they get the money for it, well,
Exactly.
good for them.
Yeah,
But I think selling something is better than having it sit around and hoping to get that amount of money. Wouldn't you say?
totally. Yeah, I'd rather be good at what I do rather than good at the business.
Yeah, because that's a separate thing.
Right. Which I would love to be good at business too, but
Some of us are not good at business.
yeah, that won't happen.
Now, do artists, or do you know whether they have agents?
I think when you get to a certain level of success, then you have an agent.
Okay.
But yeah, an agent would be awesome.
Yeah, that's really nice, right? Because then you don't have to worry about selling it. Somebody else takes care of it. And, obviously, they're going to make their commission, but who cares?
Right.
As long as you get what you want.
Right. That's exactly what I'm kind of hoping for in the next year or two, is like some sort of museum or agent hookup that I have some level of consistency
Yeah.
with being able to advertise and sell stuff.
Well, that would be really cool.
Mhm.
Well, I think you've covered everything. You think we have?
I think that's good.
Okay, everybody. So you've been listening to Jack Hendsbee. Now you're on Facebook
Facebook, Instagram, and soon YouTube maybe.
and YouTube, maybe. Okay, but for now, you can always contact them on Facebook if you want to order. Or first of all, you can look and see what he does, right? And then if you'd like to commission something from him, I'm sure he'd be more than happy to accommodate you. So yeah, right?
Awesome. Yeah.
Great. So thank you everybody for watching the show. I'm looking for the off button here. So I hope you continue to do so. Take care and peace out.
A sense of community, till the wax a place to be. A sense of community where you're free. Rolling through the mountains, rolling through the valley, rolling through paradise with me. It's multicultural, you're sure to see it all. Chilliwack's the place to be, you'll see. Come party in the park, go dancing after dark. Chilliwack's the place to be, you'll see.